Alright, what's up? Today I'm going to be showing you a way how to tie down the PVS-14s. This is just a way to do it. It's the way I do it. What you're going to need for this tie down is obviously your PVS-14 and your J-arm. You're going to need a Rhino mount. This is the Norotos Gen 1 Rhino mount. You're going to need paracord. You're going to need some sort of lighter. You're going to need some sort of blade. And you're going to need something to both mount the nods to and then secure them to. This being a locking carabiner and a base plate. Alright, first off, your paracord. You want about an arm and a half's worth. This is going to be about where you want it for the PVS-14 tie downs. Alright, with that paracord, the next thing we're going to need to do is, of course, gut it. So we're going to take the white strands all the way out. It's going to bunch up. You're just going to keep pulling it out. You're going to throw that off to the side. Now you got your gutted paracord. Alright, the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to burn the ends. So we're simply going to take our lighter, burn the ends with our fingers, both sides. There we go, both ends burnt. Alright, grabbing our night vision device, this is the PVS-14. What we want to do is we want to make some improvements for our specific SOP here before we actually tie this down. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this lens cup, we're going to pop it off. If your lens cup does not pop off easily, then it is fixed to it. Don't rip it off. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this lens cap cover, and where it's knotted down here, we're going to either untie it or cut it, and we're going to take this lens cap off. Alright, with those two items off, we now have our PVS-14 ready to be tied down. So we're going to start with it oriented like this. The actual eye portion, so the part that's facing your eye, should be facing toward you, and the battery port should be away from you. That's how we want it positioned when we start. Alright, to start the actual tie down, we're going to take our paracord and we're going to center the PVS-14 on it. To start, we're going to loop right under the front portion, so the portion with the battery that's away from your face, and you just simply loop under it like this. There you go. The next step, we're going to cross over top, and then we're going to again cross underneath the eye side like so. And then we are going to transition it back to over top. Now, at this point, if you are a right eye dominant person, I would start shifting the paracord slightly more in the left side. It's going to make the actual tie down portion to your helmet a little easier. So, and like this. Alright, and we're going to start with just this right side. We're going to take this loose end and we're going to run it under the top of this right side. Like so. And then we're going to take the left side loose end and we're going to run it under this top left side. Like so. Pulling, bringing it up. Should end with something that looks like that. This is how it should look at this point. Alright, the next thing we want to do is just check and make sure that this is running freely and it's not like hooked up on anything. Sometimes you can get like hooked up on this this bulge right here. So just make sure that our tie down is good to ready to start the knot on. And then starting this knot, we're going to again do a square knot with a safety on each side. So making sure, you know, our line is nice and tight, we're going to start right over left, And at this point, we want to really tighten down on it because this is going to be probably like one of the last times we're actually able to provide secureness on this. And then we're going to go left over right. Keep that bottom knot tight. And then boom, square knot. All right, next thing we have to do is do these safeties. So we're gonna take our blade and we're going to get this looped under this line, which is fairly difficult with how tight it is, but this is an additional safety measure for securing it. Once we have it looped under, we're gonna pull it through and we're going to make sure this is cinched as close as we can get it. And it's, as you can see, it's buddy right next to it. All right, now we're gonna do the other safety. So again, we're gonna take our knife and we are going to, the best we can, get this under the line first, which again is easier said than done because of how well we tied the square knot. But there we go. We're gonna run it back through the line and we're going to cinch this puppy down as close as we can to the square knot, cinching it, and then hey, there's your finished product. You have your square knot and your two safeties. This cannot come undone. All right, and as you can see, this is what this final tile is going to look like. It's very strong. It is tied on itself, so it literally cannot come out. All right, and now we're going to get into the actual tie down portion for the connecting to the helmet portion of it. So this is for mounting the PVS-14 over the left eye. It's kind of the same thing for the right eye. I'm just going to use basically this left string. All right, now using this left side, I want to tie a bowline. I think I want my bowline to be about 7 to 10 inches away from the actual PVS-14. So that's what we're going to shoot for. If we can't get it, then that's fine. We can just adjust the bowline. The way I'm going to do this, though, I'm going to twist my bowline like so. Then I'm going to go over, down, and through. So I'm here now. Then with this loose end, I'm going to go over this main line. And then I'm going to go under and back through this original hole. And I'm going to pull it tight. And that is a bowline. Does not slip. It's not going anywhere. All right, I adjusted my bowline to a length I like and a diameter of the hole that is like convenient for putting it on when it's, you know, the helmet is still attached to your head. So this is probably a good width. This is about how long it should be. All right, so our tie downs are all done. Now we're gonna just clean up our work. So we're gonna cut off all the excess. So, cool. And then we're going to burn it, mushroom it. Our bowline is good. And we're gonna go to our excess up here, and we're gonna cut it. And then we're going to burn it down. All right, this is what the final product looks like. All right, for this next part, you're gonna need that tied down PVS-14 and you're gonna need your J-arm. We're gonna put the J-arm on the PVS-14 now. Orienting it, this is eye side, this is away from your face, right? We want this adjustable piece to be away from your face. So all we're gonna do is take this bolt you see here and we're going to thread it in here like so. We want it to be perpendicular here with the PVS-14, and because this is what completes kind of the circuit, it needs to be extremely tight. So don't strip it obviously, but this needs to be hand tight. All right, now this is ready to get put on your helmet. Let's set up the helmet next. All right, for this next part, you're gonna need some sort of base plate. You're gonna need the Rhino Mount and the locking carabiner. You simply go into, with this Rhino Mount, start with this slight tooth portion on the top, and all you're gonna do is rock down. You'll hear that audible click, and your Rhino Mount is now locked into your helmet. All right, we're gonna take our ACH with our Rhino Mount locking carabiner, our fully completed PVS-14 setup with the J-arm attached, and we're gonna put the J-arm with PVS-14 into the Rhino Mount. It simply locks in like such. You hear that audible click. It is now locked in. As you can see, the way this works, it simply can rotate now. You have abilities to adjust like this, adjust displacement away from your face, like so. But we're gonna keep it in the up position for a second while we finalize this. All right, to finalize this, we're just gonna take our locking carabiner. We're gonna fully loosen it so that we can actually open it. We're gonna take our tie down and we're just going to loop it in. We're gonna lock carabiner, and then what you can do now is either you can literally pull the carabiner back, or you can pull it forward, and what you can do is tuck the excess, because you don't want paracord flapping around when you're running in the woods, right? So take a look at this. This is what our final tie down can look like for our PVS-14s. And of course, if you don't need your mounts anymore, all you do is loosen this, tighten it again, and you simply press this lever right here. PVS-14 will come out, wipe this, and put it in your pouch. There you go.